So today's video is on parasentology and probing. Parasentology is spelled E for Papa, A for Alpha, Alpha Romeo, A for Alpha. Centology is S for Sarah, E for Echo, F for Alpha, S for Sarah, O for Oscar, T for Tango, O for Orange, O for Lima, O for F for Lima, O for Orange, E for Gold, Y for Yankee. Probing is spelled P for Arrow, P for Papa, Alpha Romeo, O for Oscar. B for bank, I for India, N for November, E for gold. This is 8th of March 2026. So what is matter? So what is probing now? Probing definition. My definition is let me write it down. Probe, P is for probe, colon. P is for probe, the probe. Now, probe is a system that can answer a question. Let me give you a less formal overview. So, a probe is anything, go into rotation. System can have multiple rotation of a system. So Python is an interpreter, JavaScript is an interpreter, Lua is an interpreter, Zig is a compiler. Now, compilers are systems that interpret, but they create interpretations of systems. So one interpretation is different. Compiler interpretation varies from unless it's standardized specification. So the system has to be coherent enough to understand probe. Now, probing is the main the question, just a question, something to assume asking yourself a question. Why would you need that? Why would you need something? I'm trying to pull out. So I'm trying to assume. Even if you think of the system has three states at once in space and time. A system that allocate memory in space and time, but the space and time is in question. Do I need the memory or do I want the memory? It's basically a system that asks me questions. To try then system, try this system, making three decisions: yes, no, and maybe. It's a consensual system. So probing, first of all, is a consensual system. Because that probing is a system that can ask itself a question, and the question is basically based on current state of the system and data. For example, a probe can be, let me give you an example. Love is opposite of hate. So my love is your hate, in two opposite systems. My love is your hate in two opposite systems. I love you means I hate you. But within one system, we share one system, we share a love or hate. So my love is your hate. So, for example, if the term I is ontological, it's a frame of reference to system. You have two meanings, two bipartite meanings based on traditional system. So I love you. So Uche loves, look, I love you. So Uche, so I'm saying my first persona is Uche. So U for umbrella, C for Charlie, H for Ham, if I come. Uche loves Eze. Uche loves Eze. Eze spells E for echo, Z for zebra, E for echo, that's again, and means king. So Eze, knowledge loves king. Knowledge loves leader. Knowledge loves leader. King or leader. Eze means leader or king, based on how you use the term. Eze, knowledge loves leader. Now, if Eze replies, I love you, Eze is on another channel. So Eze on channel one. Eze is I love you too. I love you. So Eze says, I love you. And this is a relay response. So Eze just means Eze just sends the same thing back. So if Eze says I love you, who's the frame of reference? That's Eze. Who's frame of is it the frame of reference? So think of two channels: CH0, a sender and receiver, and CH0, sender receiver, and CH0 is the sender channel, the transmitter, and CH1 is the transmitter. But who owns it? It's Uche. Uche owns CH0 and CH1. Now CH0 is only sender transmitter only, and CH1 is receiver only. So what does this message mean? Who is this message for? What does it do? That's the problem here. So OB has channel 0 and channel 1. Two channels, channel 2. So Eze, King, OB, Eze, King, OB, O for Oscar, B for Bravo, I for Indigo, comes in the picture one time, one time. So Eze says, which says, I love you. And then Eze just relays the same message. I love you. No two. The relay is very important. It's time. It should replay. So it just relay the message. Now, the relay attack is not. It's not really attack or decision. It's a message of probing. So I love you. So Ed is I love you too. But who said that? That was who changed the relay message. Who said that? That means I love you. So the problem is the probing system hasn't shown that the message is as a moving. This relay system just replay system. So this is the model. This is a problem of a probe. It's a model of a probe. So who loves who? So if Obe is listening, Obe has two situations. Uche loves Eze. Eze loves Uche. Eze loves Uche. Now, Eze loves Uche. Do not say anything, but Obi is listening. Obi is an adversary. Obi can be anyone. Anyone can be. Obi is a person. So Obi is me. Like in the physical. And I said, so my question will be: who knows who? Who loves who? Who sends who? Who sends who? This message. Now, the message is basically zero message. If you don't understand the beauty of this system, it's a zero knowledge proof system. So the system is zero knowledge because it's basically replayed a data packet stream. So the data packet is basically the speaker, how the message was packaged, but the message contains everything you need to get that message. And it's a file on the internet. I speak to the person request. Do you have this information? Yes, I do. That's called zero knowledge proof. So it's basically zero knowledge proof verification system. Zero knowledge means you don't know. When you send this, for the thing you send, we send the system of verification. This is called no zero. So no zero is basically zero knowledge proof application, zero knowledge system. That for zero, but the data packet contains. So basically, it's like having an envelope. An envelope has a message, but you take that message out and put your own message in. So that's a really expert. So that's a really work. So that's what Ezra really do. You take the message out, you get the message, and you put your own message in. So there's no. This is why when you send food, water, or shelter, it's consensual. Now, probing is important because of zero knowledge transmission of any data, of the data packets. Whether they are physical, food, water, shelter, or they are metaphysical, or they are in the hyperspace. It doesn't matter what it is. It's UKP. Now, ZKP is very important that they're probes, they're probe system. And if you understand that the probes ask questions too. So the probes can be who. So the probe there is so if Obi is listening, Obi says who, 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 who. Now, who is what's in question. And that question can be who loves who, you love you, but the order is basically the order. The lattice order is not there. So that is the group. They don't know. You cannot associate. As you cannot associate the group. The group. Now, how does this work mathematically? Mathematically, P is a probe. P subscript external. Now, P external means there's some input states. Now, the input state S, it can be replayed or not. And S right arrow implies D. Implies or means there's some data associated with that state. Because it's a computer system, and the data can be Alexa or parser. Now, the more data you get, the more you can classify it into lexemes. You can have the data, the characters becomes lexemes. And the lexemes will become lexical analyzer, formula analyzer, we can identify the tokens of the stream of the protocol. And Alexa can be a data state. So Alexa will be a data. So you got Alexa in a parser. Now, you get a symbolic system based on the system of Alexa and parser. But symbolic interpretations work on kind of symbolic ambiguity of neurodivergent, not myself, symbolic system. So I'll come to that later. Can be replayed and relayed. So the system that has to be understand state of a topology system. So you get a relay system. You're gonna have a system of chemicality, a chemicality shared between the lexical analyzer for the message protocol. So you can have the shared common tokens in the message packets. They are coming together. It's not just a bubble, it's basically a group consensus of where we belong here and now, there and then, and when and where. In specific time. These are questions. So who, what, when, where, why? And that's why you have to have two messages to who and what. Who's in the channel? Who knows who? I know you. And if he cannot tap on the package because comments are not sent for him. The beauty of the pro system is it's unilateral. It doesn't need a consensual sort to run. You can only say the same package again. Based on kind of the system of knowledge But you're going to have the system. The problem is the probe is external. So a probe is external. You observer observes a state, and the state, when you replay it, it's just sending the message back and forth. It's not, they cannot get the message when it's done right. But they have some data. They cannot get the data. But you get the internal probe. Now, internal probe is different from the external probe. You have to distinguish that, guys. A probe that's internal, operates on data, implies also P colon D, where D is the data of the lexical analyzer and the parser and the AST that gives information of the interpretation of the system, implies some states. And that state will be the computer's symbolic interpretation state of that state. Like, the goal of this is to have A for alpha, E for echo, I for indigo, O for orange, U for umbrella, A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U are English words. But, you can have a glyph. So a glyph is a dynamic symbol. Now, a symbol is a tonal. So A, E, I, O, U is just a flat tone. It's a flat tone. A, E, I, O, U. That's a flat tone. But A, E, O, U. That's basically Igbo for A. For you can have 36 alphabets. This is less than 8 alphabets. A, E, I, O, U. This is alphabet in international alphabet. So A, E, I, O, U. And you can have A, E, O, U. And you can have E. So you have a low tone variant. E, O, U. E, O, U. And the tone of classifiers also show the glyphs are dynamic. So, don't want you to take dimension not, the glyphs have to respect the kind of mapping of the character set via real-time analysis. So OB has to understand that the message cannot be replayed. The message can be replayed. You can replay a state, but if it doesn't take, if it doesn't write the codec, if it doesn't write the codec of the data in singing F for number, F for Sarah, I for Google, G for gold, I for India, F for India, it's a code system of data over a Laplace, which is a polar coding system for data. He can basically, I'm looking at blocks. The Laplace is basically a character code that works on rotation, not which you can grow the character set. You still add more code. You can come pi over 4 north, pi over 3 square, pi over 3, which is north, east, south, and west. So the goal is to have this happen on the Laplace, but it's a coding system that's sparse. So it's sparse coding. So you have A, E, I, O, U via trans. You have three codes: A high tone, A low tone, and A flat tone. So three codes, and the one code have the polar rotation of a bearing system. So he can hack it based on the code. So this is a probing system. So please ask some questions. So the question what is a valid probe. The 5W is what, who, when, where, and how. How is a valid probe. So how is a probe? And this will respond with how in the chemical state of the lexile, how in the chemical state of the parser, if the probe is a valid probe. So it's in the probe. So that's what you. So this is called Kelvin territory, and that's it means it's a human. It's meant to find you. It's meant to find something in the space and time duality. So that's what probe systems do. They ask questions. It's a system that can ask some question, give you some states, give you some data. You have a reticle reason rationale, which means the reticle for doing that. It's like a probe functor. So it's a probe functor, but it's a flash functor. So basically, the functions are mappings of data, but the flash functor implies that the data is reticle. Reticle. What's the reason for asking that data? What's the reason? What's the reason for that probe? For that question, probe. So who? What? What is the probe? Who? Basically, who, what, when, why, and when. What and where, who and when, who. So what's the probe? So the probe is who, what, when, why, and find how the system remains coherent over tension, over spring tension. So I'm not stupid by doing this properly, but basically it goes to model a real world future. We are using electromagnetic waves via Maxwell's equation to send messages, which is called radio systems. But the system is the world is dynamic, so we can send messages very well. So you can have another system in the world, you have a space here. In the world, when it goes through a medium. So in the world is a hyperspace, and you don't control all the houses. I can control the physical network, but I can control the message over the wireless network. But you have to go to the internet, and the internet is a system of it's all internet computers. It's it's a wild area network of internet computers. That's the internet of internet it's a wild area network. So the wild area network has been safe. If I send it from internet, if I send it from code to the medium of the internet. So the Trident probe has to transmit and receive. So this can be used for verification. This is possible the single verifier too. So the single verifier has to send a message back, replay a message too, just to test that no one else has tampered with the message while we're doing it. So the replay attack will be based on the command timing or the timing of the command system. But it's a command and control system for a sender verified system. And everything has to remain as a trident pair, as a trident group. Sorry, guys, in groups of tridents where they belong. Thank you guys for watching the video. So a probe is basically P external probe P colon data where the state is already where the state is will be the state P given X P such that X implies right axis D, where D is the data, and internal probe P such as the data of the parts of the system, whatever the system implies a state of the program, like running, jumping, sending. Based on the monoplicity of the manifold, which are called the topological world, based on hyperspace. Thank you for watching this video.